Hello, I'm Joe Ty. Leanne asked me to say a few words about the Self-Empowerment Pledge and its companion, the Pickle Pledge. But before I do, just a quick word about the power of rituals. A ritual is something that you do every day consistently to get you in the right emotional and mental state. So for example, every morning before I sit down to write, I go through a little ritual. I have a gong, I have an hourglass, I have a little stuffed animal squirrel that I put in a cage to remind me to keep the squirrel in the cage while I focus. Those things help me to get in the right frame of mind. As a group, if you've ever been in an AA or an NA meeting, you know, they start every meeting with the whole group reciting the Serenity Prayer. Now, they all know it by heart, but they want to be in the right frame of mind to help each other, to support each other in these meetings. And that's the power of doing the Pickle Pledge or the Day's Promise from the Self-Empowerment Pledge every day. It starts to become part of your own emotional DNA, part of your group DNA. And it starts with the Pickle Pledge. I will turn every complaint, my head is killing me, into a blessing. Thank God for modern pharmacology. There's a pill I can take. Or a constructive suggestion. The first symptom of dehydration is a headache. I should drink some water. There's really nothing you can complain about that with a little thought you can't find something positive and something you can do about it. And when you start making this promise, you will be not astonished, you will be appalled at how much negative thinking goes on up here without you even being aware of it. How much complaining you do when you're in traffic, when you're traveling, when you're sitting next to somebody. And it will help you reframe things into a more positive way. You're going to like yourself better if you do that. And then building on that are the 7 promises, one for each day, of the Self-Empowerment Pledge. And let me give you an example of how I personally am using this right now. I like to write poetry. Now, in the literary world, poetry is so low on the totem pole, it's almost embarrassing to say to somebody, yeah, I write poetry. But I've written enough that I'm going to publish a book later this summer, and it's called The Great Divide. To do that, I have to internalize all 7 of these promises. I have to internalize Monday's promise on responsibility. I will take complete responsibility. Nobody's going to write the poems for me. Nobody's going to get the book published for me. I have to do it myself. I have to be responsible. I have to hold myself accountable. I cannot allow low self-esteem to get in the way. That little voice in the back of your head saying, who do you think you are, E.E. Cummings? I can't worry about what other people might or might not think of it. I have to do it because it's something I want to do. I have to hold myself accountable. On Wednesday, I have to be determined. I've got to do the things I'm afraid to do. Pick up the phone and call a literary agent or call a publisher. I have to try to promote my book. Otherwise, no one's ever going to read it. On Thursday, contribution. Part of the reason I write poetry is I want to help other people, and sometimes the way to get it across is in verse and not in prose. So, for example, there's a poem called The Hope Diamond that I wrote for people who are at risk of losing their hope. Friday's promise is on resilience. I'm going to get rejection. I'm going to get failure. I'm going to get lots of rejection letters. I'm going to get 1-star reviews on Amazon. I'm going to have people rolling their eyes. I can't let those things stop me from keeping writing and from getting better at my writing. I've got to learn from them. On Saturday, I've got to take the perspective promise. You know, no matter what happens, if only one person reads the book, I've got to consider that a good thing. At least I reached one person. And on Sunday, I promise myself that my faith and my gratitude for all of my many blessings, like living in a country where I can actually write poetry and not worry about bombs falling on my house, all of those things are blessings that I should be thankful for and that my gratitude should shine through. So I encourage you to take these promises to heart. I encourage you to share them with your family. I encourage you to share them as a group in your workplace, and see just how much more positive, how much more self-empowered you can be. Thank you.